where, I really hope my son doesn't get into racing motocross or freestyle moto like he talks like he's going to. But if he does, and it's that dangerous, I'm not going to stop him, because at one point when I love skateboarding that much, to die for it would be an honor.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, when I think about like what my parents or somebody that really cared about me would think if I had that going through my head. But like a big wave surfer, if he dies in the waves, you don't get that good at riding a giant wave unless you were committed to a level where, I mean, I'm 44. I've done a lot of shit. I don't see anybody on this planet that has the commitment that I have had, or several of my friends have had, to getting something done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the CEO of SiriusXM. I don't see that much commitment in his eyes. He's a hard-working guy. I'm sure he went to school, studied hard to get what he wanted, but I didn't see anybody who was like, I'll cut my hand off for this job. Because I would do it.
You were willing to go that far.
Cut my hand off. If I can be number one, cut my hand off.
Really?
Yeah, no problem.
I've never had that feeling.
I used to say to myself, if I don't make this ride, I'll die, or my mum would die. Wow. And I would
put that much fucking pressure on you.
I cry.
He did a 540 at 40, which is fucking awesome.
Explain what that is?
That's impossible.
Nothing. Spinning around doesn't matter.
At 40 years old.
No, it does matter, dude.
So, Kevin,
that does. I mean, fucking jeez.
You don't say those sorts of things to yourself before you call action on yoga hosers?
Yeah, I'm like, if I don't fucking get this right, my mother will perish. Action, kids.
But that's bullshit. At one point, when you were coming up, you didn't have to use that, because you had more intelligence than I did.
Not at all.
You used another scenario, but it was everything to you.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
And it still is, obviously. You don't make a movie like Tusk or Yoga Hosers unless you're fucking deeply committed.
I've been acting for 25 years. I mean, all it is rejection. And if I listened to anybody, if I didn't have the drive, it wasn't for the money, it wasn't for the fame, it was because that's what I had to do.
Right.
And I still have to do it. And so I totally get it.
It's passion, man. When you're a kid, like I remember being like making the first few movies, and I was like, if I don't make this movie, I'll fucking die.
Right.
And then you get to a certain point in your career where, if you're lucky, you're like, oh, if I don't make this movie, I'll make another movie, because that's what I do now.
Right. But still, because you have that choice.
And I still have that.
If I took everything away from you, Kevin, if I took everything away from your acting, like, because now you can't, I don't want to say you're set, because I don't think anyone, I don't think this could be taken away from me.
Right.
Like, but I think to myself, you know what, I'll start a podcast and I'll fucking be on top.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean it's for sure. But if you got really dropped down to this is it again, you have one more shot again, it comes back like a lion. It comes back. It's fucking kill or be killed.
I burned my career to the ground at one point when I made Red State and fought with everybody. I was like, I'm taking this movie. I took it to Sundance and made a big speech on stage. Fought with critics, salted the earth and shit, because I wanted to get back to the purity of what got me there in the first place. Nothing was guaranteed. I just wanted to see that movie Clerks very badly, and nobody was ever going to make it unless I made it. That led to a career. So once you get a career, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't even hoping for that. I just wanted to see this one movie. Once you get a career, one of your first instincts is to protect it. You want to save your career, because you're like, now I'm getting paid to do the thing I love. Yeah. I've cracked the code and shit. And then you start safing up and stuff. And so at one point, I decided that like I'm never going to be the storyteller I was unless I'm willing to lose all this. Like, unless I'm willing to burn the career to the ground, because nothing good is going to come out of safety. Right. And this is first world talk, right? It's not like real safety of like, there are bombs dropping on us and shit.
As long as that's in the back of the head, you're all right.
Exactly. So at a certain point, I did this thing where I fought with critics after like Cop Out, and I was like, critics are useless and shit like that. And that was about purity. That was about, if I never have to think about what the critics will say about what I do, by poisoning the well and just saying like all critics suck, and therefore they're like, I'll never fucking give him a good review again. I could assume that I'd never get a good review again, and because of that be free. Like, I didn't make Clerks going, what will they say about it? I made Clerks going, I just want to see it, and I wanted to get back to that place. That's what Red State, Tusk, and even now Yoga Hosers about. Making a movie that, like, I know people aren't going to like it. I don't give a fuck. I want to see it.
You do give a fuck. you don't give a fuck. Your direction, you're going to make the movie that you want.
Yes.
But when people have negative opinions about it, it does affect you.
It used to, but not anymore. Cause
I don't
now
believe you.
Well, now here I found a way around it because I used to get real sensitive about the other movies.
Yeah, because the last time you were on here, you touched on it. Because
Yeah.
we've had the same thing. We talk about everybody's lives in a harsh, open manner.
Yeah.
Which means it comes back to us
sooner
in a
or
harsh,
later it
open manner.
haunts. Yeah, but no, I used to get tight about that because my movies were taken from my real life. I wasn't very inventive. I would just take my life, change names. So when people are like, "This movie sucks," or "These characters are stupid," that was an indictment of my real life.
Okay.
Now I'm making movies like Tusk. That don't come from my real life.
Sure?
Yeah, I looked very closely.
Yoga Hosers is
There's
exact.
nobody in
That
your
could be a
garage.
documentary.
That came out of real life a little bit. But since these movies are so batshit ridiculous and not connected to my personal life, now I stand in the face of shit. Like, I was here with Tusk. You were like, "The fucking movie's weird." And I was like, "Yeah, it is kind of weird." Back in the day, I would have been like, "You're
I
weird,
didn't say
man."
it was weird. I said it was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
But weird. You told the tell you in the beginning, like, "What?" This is
No,
weird."
it was
And
the
then by
most
end-
terrifying. At first, it was the most terrifying movie I've ever seen. Then it got weird. At first, I was like, "This is the ultimate horror movie ever."
And then he dropped the ball.
And yeah, and then it became hilarious.